Welcome to Real Money Talks, how to make money, manage money, and invest money. Your Real Money Talks host, Laurel Langmeyer, gets straight to the point about what it actually takes to make money and build lasting wealth in today's changing economic climate. If you're ready to get the financial results you've always dreamed of, keep listening. Real Money Talks is the right place for you. And now here's your host, Laurel Langmeyer.
Hi, this is Laurel, and you're back at Laurel's Real Money Talks. We're here having conversations about how to make money, keep money, invest money, do it with teammates, and keep your wealth. Today's a really interesting conversation. It's really how do you protect legally your internet business? And so few people don't do it. And the cyber hacking and cyber stalking is bigger than it's ever been. In fact, I just invested into a cyber technology company as an investment because I think it's not just the wave of the future. It's going to be the constant thing that we need to be protective of. So I have with me today Heather Pearce Campbell. She's from Seattle, Washington. She's a lawyer and just brilliant. So welcome.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
So tell them a little more about you and your background.
So I am an attorney and legal coach based in Seattle, Washington. I provide both legal information and traditional legal services for people based in Washington, but legal coaching for small businesses and entrepreneurs around the U.S., which is legal information tailored to small businesses. Online entrepreneur is a huge component of that in modern business, is the online presence, as well as legal tools, which include contract templates and various tools that really are essential to running a successful modern business.
Great. So talk about protecting your internet business, because if you think of all the listeners that are here, right, and there's thousands and thousands, they all, even if it's a simple little URL, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, what's interesting is, I'm thinking about this, like I have, we have our wedding, site, laurelandjason.com, there's no protection on that. People can load our websites, our pictures. I'm thinking, oh my God, so there's a lot of people, right? I have personal sites that just have fun things. And then I have like the machine of Live Out Loud. But don't you think most people, I'd say 80, 90 have a website of some sort?
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're in modern, if you're doing something, current in the business world, you're online. And most people, what I described just downstairs now was the online portion of the business world is like the Wild West of business.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
The legal rules and stuff haven't quite caught up with the reality of being online. So we're seeing some legal rules evolve pretty rapidly to attempt to catch up. But this issue of cybersecurity, for example, I think in 2015, 50% of all businesses experienced some data breach or cybersecurity.
Wow.
Cybersecurity issue of some kind. And last year it went up to 60%. Cybersecurity insurance policies are the fastest growing insurance policy right now.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know you could get that.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes, you
gotta
can.
write that down. I'm writing that down.
For people that are developing online databases and have a lot of value in their database, you absolutely should consider it, because what happens and is increasingly happening is as businesses get hacked, and most small businesses fall prey to the belief that, I'm a small business, I'm not going to be targeted, individually. Most hacks happen as a group.
Really?
100 businesses. Yeah, so even though you hear about like Home Depot or Target or all these bigwigs, right? A lot of them got hacked simultaneously.
Really?
Yes, it's the way that hacking works. So even though they're reported generally on an individual basis, small businesses are just as prone as these big businesses.
So let's do two things. Talk a little more about that, like how it happens. And then let's give our listeners some very strategic, like getting insurance. What else could they do? Because I'm curious in the overall conversation, is it the database, the credit card merchant service, or the URL and intellectual property? Like, what is the thing they want the most, or is it a little bit of all of it?
No, you raise a lot of the big risks about being online. One is exposing your IP, right? So if you're selling things online, if you're publishing your business stuff and content online, you definitely have some intellectual property to think about that you need to protect possibly from, a back end federal registration standpoint, but for sure from a standard contractual standpoint, your website terms and conditions, right? And if you're selling things, terms of purchase, those put contract terms in place about how somebody can use your information, use your program, your digital products, whatever you're selling online. It's a huge part of it. And I can't tell you how many people have come to me after creating online programs and products, having them ripped off, duplicated, published somewhere else on the web by somebody else, claiming them as their own, and having to figure out now how to get that content taken down and what should they have done in the first place to protect themselves.
Interesting.
You need terms. It's about getting back to business contracts.
Wow.
You need your business contracts in place.
Do you put them on is it smart to put your contracts on a website or a downloadable?
So yes, if you have, a great question, if you have general information available on your website, you need terms and conditions on your website, which are going to address things, including even your IP that you make generally available. And it's really called terms of use or a license agreement, right?
Yeah.
Certain portion of it, which literally just tells somebody what they can do with the information you're putting on their website. And you disclaim certain liability. You have other things that are combined into those terms. If you're selling something, what is the safest way to protect your online program or product or digital information? Is think of the Apple, like the iTunes.
Yeah.
Click the terms of purchase, right? And then you have the whole thing that follows if you choose to go read it. That is the safest from a legal standpoint, is to actually physically require a click
before they do anything.
Before they purchase. It's critical that
that's going to stand up in court against any battle or anything that
most of the time.
Okay.
If they have clicked and it has the right language that says, I have read and agree to these terms, right? And they have the option to click over and read those terms prior to or just at the point
really
of
good.
purchase.
I forgot that too. I
Yes,
always think,
it's huge.
look at my little list over here.
Otherwise, what the court does is says, well, it's kind of like a bait and switch. You let them purchase without seeing the terms. And then, for example, maybe they get the welcome email or the follow-up that says, by the way, here's the terms that apply. Not as strong as the click right prior to the purchase. So there are like the right way to do it and, the less right way to do it when it comes to online sales.
Interesting. So are there ways to protect specifically like merchant service, credit cards? What are some just drill down on that guy?
That's huge. And these are going to be a lot of questions that you want to probably bring to your online credit card processor, right? And there's different companies that do this, but some of them have safety mechanisms built in, right? So what we see tremendously nowadays is what's called friendly fraud. It's nothing friendly about fraud, but this is totally on the rise. A huge majority of the refunds, right? So I'm sure you've experienced this in your business. Somebody purchases something online and then rather than raising an issue with you, they go right to the credit card company and dispute the purchase.
Yep.
Like, I wasn't behind it, somebody stole my card, whatever, right? This is called friendly fraud. They actually made the purchase, but they're relying on terms that exist in place with their credit card company to essentially dispute it for them. And so what you want in place is various mechanisms that take place at the point of purchase that include address confirmation, right? So even if it's a digital product, you want to get a mailing address or a physical address along with the purchase, because then that's run against the credit card as a double check, right? You always want to ask for the security code on the card. And then there's additional levels of protection that you can put in place with the processor that will act as a double check. And I don't have my list in front of me right now because it's like 10 or 11 items. But the conversation you want to have with your payment processor or merchant account is, what do you have available to protect me from friendly fraud and fraudulent, because they'll list what they have in place, and then it might cost you a little more. So for example, let's say that you're shipping products, right? There's also a tremendous amount of friendly fraud that happens with shipped products where they just claim they didn't get them.
Oh, interesting.
So if you're shipping stuff through an online business, you absolutely want signature confirmation. It's going to cost you more, but it will drastically decrease your rate of friendly fraud, because when you have both the address confirmation at the point of purchase and the delivery address, and they're the same thing, and they match the card, and the person entered the security code, becomes much harder for somebody to
So they didn't get it.
Yeah. Or to say that they weren't the one that made the purchase.
Oh, interesting.
So if somebody in your household made the purchase and took acceptance of the product, right?
Interesting. So what else do we need to know?
So IP is a big one on the cybersecurity, right? So you have the cybersecurity issues from a fraud standpoint that happens at the point of purchase. Cybersecurity generally, right? If you are a business that's doing a lot of business online, look into a cybersecurity insurance policy.
Yeah.
If you are growing a database online using lead magnets, having a newsletter that you have people sign up for, right? A lot of people don't know this. You shouldn't be doing that in the United States without a privacy policy in place. Because what happens is if you do get hacked on the back end, and this is increasing obviously a lot given just the current, state of the world, is that depending on the size of the breach and the risk to your client or your consumer, you're getting government investigations into these group breaches on the back end. And the first thing they're going to ask a business is, show me your policy, show me your privacy policy, and are you following it? Tell me what you did to follow up on that.
And this is to protect the privacy of your clients.
Yes, this is really about the privacy of your clients, because once their information has been exposed to the world, and maybe it was through something you did wrong on your website because you didn't have proper protections in place, right? There are firewalls and different things that you can put in place. And I'm not like a technical guru, but I actually do have a report that people can access that if they follow some pretty basic things that I lay out, they reduce up to about 85% of the majority of risks faced online.
So give me the report that we'll put up on the guest page.
Yes. It is called The Internet of Things and Cybersecurity Issues Faced by Modern Entrepreneurs.
Awesome. And then what we will do is also give you the list of the people that downloaded it so you can follow them up and see if they need any extra help. Don't you think this is just a completely... I love that you actually brought up the topic. When we first started, I had asked Heather, I said, so what else should we talk about? And she said, internet. Because don't you think it's completely...
It's tricky.
Well, and not very talked about. I mean, you know me. I mean, I've got thousands of clients, and it's a pretty rare conversation in any of our money conversations, what they're doing to protect their internet and their clients on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's a huge tool used by modern businesses when it's used successfully to grow your database, like one of your most critical components in your business, right? And so you don't want to put that at risk if you can avoid it.
So what about databases? How do you protect that?
Again, this is where you check with, depending on who you use as a database, right? So CRM or your provider, whether it's Infusionsoft or somebody else, what they do, first of all, to run backups, what they do to help you keep your information safe. And just know that being online, there's no way to keep your information, including your database and your clients, 100% safe. So that is the risk of modern business and being online. But the next best thing you can do, have policies in place.
And do you actually put all these policies in one place on the website? What's it look like?
Internal company policy for certain of these. But the privacy policy, absolutely. That is what you do publish on your website alongside your terms and conditions. Your terms and conditions, think of those as the general rules that outline how people can use your information, disclaim certain liability, because we can't guarantee that people are going to use the information in the way that we provide it, right? So you have proper disclaimers and other things. So think of your website terms and conditions as your general ground rules, including a lot of rules about how people can use it. Your privacy policy fulfills your obligation to your consumer and your client about what you're doing with their information. How are you trying to keep it safe, right? What technology are you using? Are you tracking their other internet activities, which you have to disclose, right? If you use cookies and stuff on your site, all a part of modern marketing. So there's all these things that are required to be disclosed so that people can decide, am I comfortable giving this business my information knowing it's going to be used this way? And what steps do they take to protect it? And so part of the problem arises when you don't have policies in place, you're not disclosing them to people, and then you're not following them, right? So it's a multi-step,
So I love this conversation. I think we should actually do like a longer webinar, put it on YouTube. There's a lot. And I'm just thinking of all of our clients and folks that probably don't even have, like you said, a privacy policy properly done. Because what comes to mind is like, even if I could prove that, let's just use the grocery store across the street from my building, Safeway sells my purchasing data, which I'm sure they do. How does an individual even begin to defend or prove, right? That all of a sudden, because, let's just say I buy, a lot of whatever, Pedialyte.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I get Pedialyte coupons. Darn good and well, they're selling my data to get me to buy other shit.
Oh, that's right. Or you spend any time on Facebook. And that's interesting because this started as a conspiracy theory.
No, it's real.
Talk about something really, really random that you would never otherwise talk about in your life near your smartphone for about 30 minutes. Have a conversation about it. You will be surprised that probably within 24 hours, you will start seeing advertisements. And it will freak people the heck out. But this is how modern technology is being used for things that you had a conversation with about once that you otherwise have never searched for online. I mean, it gets really crazy the way that companies are able to access data in ways that we still have no idea about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So
way
thank
beyond
you.
this.
Yeah, I know. And I just don't
15
think
minutes.
about the conspiracy. I mean, I know people in the NSA and CIA. It's exciting. And most people have no idea how much they're being watched. They think that's oblivious. I mean,
this video right here in your computer, most people have a video capability built. There was some crazy statistic that up to 70% of all video, like cameras in our smartphones, have been turned on at some point and somebody on the other end monitoring them without you knowing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I know.
No, it's not crazy.
Thing.
It's true.
It's
true. So Heather, thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
Again, go to asklaurel.com/podcast gifts to get Heather's report on just the beginning pieces of how to protect yourself on the internet. So I appreciate that. And all of you, again, you're listening to Laurel's Real Money Talks here at our podcast. If you've enjoyed it and know other people that need to be listening to this content, pass on the podcast, go to iTunes or any Google Play Store, download my podcast and get it out to the world. And let's have this conversation about money change. It's so desperately needed. So thanks for being with me. I'll be in touch soon. Thanks.
Thank you for joining Laurel for this segment of Real Money Talks, how to make money, manage money, and invest money. To continue this new conversation and to find free resources to support your wealth creation, visit asklaurel.com/podcast gifts. That's ASKLORAL.com/podcast gifts. Thanks for listening and join us again soon. New episodes are released every week.